seven, six, five, four, three, two, one.
All systems go.
You're listening to Sudbury News Talk.
I want to show you something.
Stand by.
On the morning shift.
Anything
Could happen.
Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to, Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift. I'm AJ Walsh. I'm glad to be here with you. I'm thankful that you're here with us on this Monday, December the 15th, 2025. I can't believe where the time has gone. Halfway through December, 10 days to Christmas, and the year is almost done. And we'll be heading into 2026 in a couple weeks. Hard to believe. And is it just because I'm getting older? Is that the only reason? I have no idea. It is what it is, as they say in some areas of the world. Glad to be here with you. Thankful that you're here with us. We're live on CKLU 96.7 FM on the radio. We're also streaming live at cklu.ca. We just had our Christmas fundraiser this Sunday. I hope many of you were able to get out there and support it. We're grateful for Bob and Tom for their $100 donation for the cause this week. And I know Rob, the general manager of CKLU, is very happy to hear that. He's looking forward to receiving that. And I'll personally deliver it to him. And we are going to have a good show. It's planned for you today. I'm just going through one of the stories that I wanted to cover here and making sure that I can get it up on the screen. And here we go. Looks like we got that. I thought I also saw the other one that I was looking for here, but it doesn't look like it's there anymore. Does that even make any sense? Okay, no, there it is. Found both of them, so we're good to go. Great show. I mean, we're going to talk about weather manipulation or geoengineering and how it takes place on a daily basis over our skies. I was in Timmins this weekend and you couldn't help but notice it. I'll show you a couple photographs. One from the evening. I was in a hotel downtown Timmins and 7th floor. So I had a really good view of the horizon. So I got a picture in the evening and a picture in the morning. And it's so apparent what's going on in the skies. A picture is 1,000 words, right? And then as I'm driving back into Sudbury around 3:30, 4 o'clock, there's just this cloud that's just over the city, and that's it. And I have pictures to prove it. And I said, wow, is this just so apparent? I mean, it'll be good for the show tomorrow. And then I found a Wake Up Canada News segment that actually talks about it. So it's a good, it was meant to be. That's what we're going to deep dive into this morning. We're going to talk about our, our homelessness situation in the city. And Wake Up Canada News also has a segment on homelessness in Canada. We're not the only city that's facing these problems here. So we'll talk about that as well. We'll start things off with a little bit of weather, but we're live on CKLU 96.7 FM, cklu.ca, facebook.com/Sudbury News, youtube.com/Sudbury News. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and follow the channel on the page. We'll be found immediately on demand on those two platforms, along with x.com/Sudbury News and Sudbury.news, which is our news aggregator. And make sure to comment. We'll do our best to get your comments up on the screen for those watching, red for those listening. Let's dive in with a little bit of weather, and we'll be back with news, headlines, or comments and more right after this. And Sudbury weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Currently it's negative 13 degrees. It feels like minus 19 with the wind chill. Today we can expect cloudiness, 40% chance of flurries early in the morning. A few flurries beginning early this afternoon, 2 to 4 centimeters. Wind will be gusting up to 40 kilometers per hour, high of minus 5. Wind chill minus 19 this morning. Minus 10 this afternoon. Tonight, cloudy, 40% chance of flurries. This evening, wind up to 15 kilometers per hour, low minus 13, wind chill minus 10. This evening, minus 19 overnight. Tomorrow, cloudy, 40% chance of flurries in the morning, risk of freezing, drizzle in the morning and afternoon. So, wonderbar. Great weather we have here going on. So, minus 2, 40% chance of flurries and some freezing drizzle tomorrow. I got high of minus 2. Minus 6 is your high. 60% chance of flurries on Wednesday. Same thing on Thursday. But 60% chance of precipitation, but it's rain or snow. And that's on Thursday. What a mixed bag this week. And then the temperature is supposed to plummet by Friday, minus 14 and flurries, minus 1 Saturday and periods of snow. And then a 40% chance of flurries on Sunday with a high of minus 9. So that goes right to the winter solstice, beginning of the winter solstice, which is exactly a week from today. The shortest 3 days of the year, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Right? And that's your Sudbury weather brought to you by SudburyWeather.ca. Not the greatest forecast in the world, but we'll be back with news, headlines, your comments, and more right after this. And I'm back with one of the most irritating sore, I don't know, bit of a throat thing, chest thing, nasal, I don't know. It's just irritating. I don't even think it's real. So many things in the air these days. It's funny. I look on the water in the toilet and I can just see all these particles on top of the water. And I'm like, you just flush the toilet and right away there's more particles on top of the water from the air. And I'm wondering, what are we breathing in? What's in the air that we have right now? Remember as a kid, you're very observant and you're playing and you look and it's spring, let's say, and you're at the curbside and there's water going in the gutter and, and you can see the rainbow on the water from the oil kind of thing. And you're really aware of things like that. Well, that's one thing to have some oil in the water. Another thing is to just have particulates that you don't even know what the heck they are on the surface of your water. Check it out. I guess it's just the way the lighting is in the bathroom that I can see the glare on the top of the water and all the things that are, that the water catches from the air that we're breathing. My grandson's had a cold for 4 months. Like when he goes to bed at night, he sounds like the Exorcist, like with phlegm just filling up everywhere, coughing and can't breathe. For 4 months, he's been to 2 x-rays now, 3 x-rays possibly. This will be a second round of antibiotics. Was taken to Emerge last night because he was coughing up blood. Doctors say that he's been to the doctor at least 4 to 5 times during this time. Just because we're like, okay, are we overlooking things? We're usually using natural remedies and things. We like to avoid the medical system as much as possible. But we're like, okay, is this like beyond now? Like where we can't even, and he was diagnosed with pneumonia twice during this time. And then other times it's like, no, he doesn't have anything. But yet every day the symptoms are the same. And I have to equate it to the fact that we're breathing in terrible stuff. And we'll get to that. We're going to get to that this morning. What are we breathing in? What's being sprayed over our heads all the time? Okay, Northern Hillbilly, good morning to you. We got Judy on, good morning on Facebook. Monique, good morning, Grand Rising, Sudbury. And we got Sheila here, good morning to you. Hazel, good morning, prayer emoji. Thanks for sending me the Moose on the Loose this morning. Really much appreciated. Was watching a bit of it. Was thinking maybe we'd play it, but I'm not sure if we'll have time. Maybe tomorrow. It's pretty interesting showing how Canada's starting to break up due to the very one-sided transfer payments that we've had in this country for so many years. Makes no sense. Takes from the have provinces and gives to have provinces as well, just in the east, and some have not provinces. But regardless, it's a terrible system that exploits the western provinces. And good morning, Pat. Thanks for being on. Maurice, good morning to you. Larry, good morning, everyone. Northern Hillbillies saying we're bugs to them and people refuse to see. Yeah, for sure. We'll get into that. We're just being sprayed like bugs. Larry, the homelessness is right across the world. It is, not just in Canada. That's right. I said it was in Canada, but it's across the world as well. Belinda, good morning to you. Rejection either means try again or take a different route. It never means you're unworthy, only that life is redirecting you towards where you belong. That's right. So just because you're rejected by one group of people or one entity or whatever it is, it never means that you're unworthy. It just means that you need to kind of find your people, find where you do belong, because you do belong. It's just you might be in the wrong area at the time. That's all. Just keep on keeping on and find your people. And Vin, good morning to you. Shirley, good morning. Sudbury, wishing you a safe and happy day. And that's from Shirley. Just want to make sure that's who it is. Yes, it's Shirley and Marianne. Good morning, everyone from Barrie. Liked and shared as usual. And Belinda says, so many people are unwell. So many people are unwell. Is that on purpose? Is that by accident? Right? We'll talk more about that. Nanoparticles used in geoengineering. Yes, there is. And that's what we're going to be deep diving into this morning. Larry says, are we, at this point where we have to get everything tested and analyzed? It's getting that bad and they want to get rid of us. I think it's time to do what we have to do to take our country back. And it is a worldwide thing, like was mentioned before. It's not just our country, but our country is probably one of the leaders in this new global way of doing things. It won't last very long, but it's here for a while. Okay, and Vin, possible mold. Yeah, I heard they were putting mold into what they do spray as well, because that's an easy thing to get into our respiratory system. So I'll check that out with my grandson too, if that's what you're referring to. Black seed oil is great for eliminating heavy metals. Thank you very much for that, Hazel. And Belinda says, I hope grandson turns a corner soon. Yeah, I am hoping that too. We're just beside ourselves wondering what the heck to do. Yeah, what exactly is in the chemtrails? We're going to be asking those questions coming up. I have some pictures to show. I have a video. We're going to get to that very shortly here, Northern Hillbilly. When ice fishing in March, I noticed for years a black oil slick melting in a hole. When you're awake, you notice these things for sure. Yeah, if you're always just being aware of what's around you and your surroundings. So much happening worldwide, that's true. And Miles is here. Hey, Merry Christmas, all. Yeah, we're getting there. 10 days. We're already in the 12 days of Christmas. 10 days away. I hope you got your shopping done all. if you do shopping, if you do that as part of your Christmas culture or holiday culture. So I have to go back. Is it something seed oil that was recommended here? Black seed oil. Okay, I'll have to remember that. I'll go back and watch this if I can't remember it. Black seed oil. I'll have to tell my wife as well. You hear about RCMP investigation has started on China's election interference in Michael Ma's office? Well, we know that China's been interfering in our elections and in our politics for sure. It's just are the RCMP actually going to follow through with it? That's the question. Let's hope they do. Let's hope they do. Okay, let's move on here. We'll get all your comments up on the screen for those watching. If those listening or wanting to hear what people are saying, you just can watch our show on Facebook or YouTube on demand after the show, and you'll find it all there. A couple stories we're following here in Sudbury. Sudbury's still waiting for their homelessness and addictions hub, right? And that's Jamie West is advocating for that to happen in Sudbury. We were promised it. It's gone ahead in a few cities, but for some reason we still don't have it here in Sudbury. We're not sure why. Is it a political thing? Is it because we have a conservative provincial government and we have Liberal NDP government in Ontario? Well, Ontario politics, we have NDP, but left-leaning nonetheless, Liberal. Now we finally have one Conservative in the new riding that was formed that used to be Nickel Belt. But that's been a long time coming. Just because of the change, right? Because we're more of a liberal city. Is that what's going on with the Heart Hub? Is that why we don't have one yet? There was also another article here, the Go Give project in Sudbury. We talked about them on the show with Bob and Tom. And good morning, Liette. Thanks for being with us from Collingwood. They aren't receiving a chunk of their funding, and they're asking for support from the community. Here's a couple of them right here. So they lost some of their funding, and they're going to have to lay off a lot of their workers and really scale down. And so they're reaching out to the community. There's also a story here about helping our veterans who are struggling with homelessness. And I found the story here, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it again. Here it is. Greater Sudbury has helped 11 of 12 homeless veterans find housing. This is from the Sudbury Star. The Veteran Homeless Program is part of the city's Housing First strategy. So I guess it's not all doom and gloom. They've helped 11 of 12 veterans who are experiencing homelessness. Since when is that, something that's been headlines, though, before? Like, our veterans, why are they homeless in the first place? It's really great that we've been able to help 11 of the 12 of them, but why were 12 veterans homeless in the first place? What has changed in our country to make it so that way, there's so many homeless people, not just in Sudbury, as was said earlier, but across the board, right? So Wake Up Canada News, Brad Wilder talking about that. And then, so he's going to talk about homelessness in Canada. Then he's going to go right into weather modification, geoengineering, chemtrails. And then that's where we're going to take it up after that as well. So we're switching the subject from homelessness to chemtrails, thanks to Brad Wilder's report here.
Canadians starving, while billions are sent abroad and no help ever comes back. Plus, the elephant in the sky. Welcome back to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was researched and written by one of our Wake Up Canada News contributing reporters. Ever look around? We don't mean to paint this vivid picture, but every city in Canada has tent cities growing daily. Families wait in line at food banks daily, children go hungry, seniors scrape by, mental health services are collapsing. And what does the government give us? Almost nothing. Meager benefits, token programs, scraps that barely keep people from falling through the cracks. Now here's the part nobody likes to talk about. Canada receives zero money from any other country in the world to help its poor, its homeless, its starving, or its lower income citizens. Not a penny. No one else is footing the bill for Canadian citizens. Every dollar spent here comes from Canadian taxpayers. Every cent of aid we get from the world is for someone else, somewhere else, not for us. Meanwhile, billions of your hard-earned tax dollars are sent abroad, not to save lives, not to help the vulnerable, but to fight wars, fund foreign governments, and prop up international conflicts. In 2024 alone, Canada sent roughly $7 to $8 billion overseas. That's billions for foreign aid, while domestic support for housing, food security, even social programs remains negligible. Think about it. The help at home is almost invisible, but the money flowing out is massive. And it's going to fund wars, violence, and political influence, not human lives. Canadians struggle, sleep in tents, line up at food banks, and face a cost of living crisis, while the government proudly hands our money to other countries. This is not just wrong. It's a betrayal of every Canadian who works hard, pays taxes, and expects their government to put its own people first. There's no foreign help coming. Zero. Nada. Zilch. So why the fuck are we giving our money away? To prop up wars and foreign elites when Canadians are starving and homeless in their own cities? It's time to demand answers. It's time to demand accountability, because until we do, the tent cities are going to keep growing, food banks will keep struggling, and Canadians will keep being left behind in their own country while their taxes line foreign pockets. In other news, the elephant in the sky. For decades, we've been told to ignore our own eyes. We're lectured like children that the long-lasting white lines turning the sky into a smeared grid are just condensation. We were mocked, ridiculed, dismissed as though questioning what's directly overhead is a sign of mental illness. Meanwhile, the people pushing those narratives never answer the simplest question of all. If it's just water vapor, then why is it acting like anything but water vapor? Dane Wigington asked that question almost 30 years ago, not as an activist, not as a conspiracy theorist, but as a homeowner living off the grid who suddenly watched his solar power get swallowed by artificial haze. Some days, up to 70% of his solar output vanished. No clouds, no fog, something else. Something coming from above. So Dane did what actual investigators do. He tested the rainwater. And that's where the story stops being a curiosity and becomes an outrage. The rain wasn't normal. It was contaminated. In his first rainwater test, Dane found 7 parts per billion of bioavailable aluminum, a metal that does not belong in rainfall, soil, or even lungs. Over the next 18 months, the levels skyrocketed. He recorded single storm events containing 3,450 parts per billion of aluminum. That's not trace. That's not unfortunate background pollution. That's deliberate scale contamination. And aluminum wasn't the only thing falling out of the sky. Across hundreds of lab tests, many done with the University of Minnesota and other recognized institutions, Dane found aluminum nanoparticles toxic to all forms of life. Barium, strontium, manganese, surfactants, polymer fibers, graphene nanoparticles. These aren't the ingredients of condensation. They're the ingredients of a program no one asked for, no one voted on, and no one is allowed to talk about, it seems. The gag orders really do tell a real story. If everything is harmless, then explain this. Why is there a federal gag order on the National Weather Service and NOAA? Why were meteorologists threatened into silence? Why did an NOAA scientist admit privately that we all know this is going on? We have no First Amendment protection. We don't know what to do. Because the moment anyone acknowledges the elephant in the sky, the entire official narrative collapses. The official story is the real conspiracy. Governments and global climate circles openly discuss solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injection, and albedo modification. They publish research papers on spraying reflective particles into the atmosphere using aircraft. But the second the public notices the sky already looks like a chemical barcode, they're told, "Don't be ridiculous. You're imagining it." This is gaslighting on a planetary scale. The damage, silent and widespread. What happens when you aerosolize aluminum, a neurotoxin, into particles small enough to stay suspended in air, say small enough to breathe, small enough to cross the blood-brain barrier even? What happens when that dust coats forests, soil, crops, waterways? Findings point to soil pH disruption, tree decline and forests die off, reduced agricultural yields, respiratory illnesses linked to fine particles, reduced solar energy output everywhere, contaminated snowfall and rain in rural regions far from industry. If this were coming from a factory, the world would scream bloody murder. If it were coming from a hostile nation, it'd be called an act of war. But because it's coming from above, silently, without debate, we're supposed to pretend it isn't happening. The real danger isn't just the material, it's the silence. Dane's tests reveal a simple, infuriating truth. Something is being put into our atmosphere that does not belong there, and those responsible refuse to acknowledge it, explain it, or stop it. That alone should make every citizen furious. When governments talk openly about aerosol programs but deny the existence of the very aerosols people can see, measure, and breathe, when the people tasked with monitoring weather are legally forbidden from speaking openly, when rainwater is testing positive for metals associated with geoengineering patents, the question stops being, is something happening, and becomes, why are we being lied to about it, and why are we not doing anything about it? Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and our website at wakeupcanadanews.com.
Thanks to Brad Wilder for that report. And yes, I got some pictures I wanted to share with everybody about, and we see it every day. It's just, do we document it and share it and show people? And if we talk about it, do people even want to hear what we have to say? Do people even care? And when I share my pictures with myself, why didn't they show up here? Where did they go? Did I send them to my other email for some strange reason by accident? I'm not sure. That's interesting. So let's see what we can do here then to get these pictures. I emailed them. So I'm not sure. Did they go to my junk mail? Would that even happen? Is that even a thing? You know, when you email yourself? No. So. Okay. That's odd. So you think, just when you think you've done everything you can, you know, it's, it just didn't happen on, oh no, now they're there. Whatever. Okay. They're here. So now you got, I'll get it on the screen here. So where's the first one? So this would be the evening. So this is the evening in the hotel, downtown Timmins. I'll just put this full screen. So I'm on the 7th floor. And I see this all the time. because I'm up early and I drive home late. So what you see above here at the top is the clouds are just over the city, and you can see the city limits in the distance with no clouds or very little clouds, not the same cloud. There's a cloud only over Timmins, right? So you say, oh, well, that could happen, right? That happens every once in a while. You could just have a cloud that's just over Timmins. And good morning, Andrew. Thanks for being on. And Perry as well. Or sorry, not Penny. Yes, and Penny. Haven't seen you in a while. So thanks for being on. So there's that. So I wake up the next morning and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's see if this is, so here's the morning now. Well, that's interesting. There's another cloud, a different cloud in the morning, but it's right over the city again. See that? Perfectly over the city. And if I was to go to the other side of the building and show you, you would see the same thing. There's just a cloud right over the city. So if someone was trying to spray just the city, that's what it looks like. So why is that natural? So there's a few questions there, right? Is that just a natural cloud that just happens to is it like the city is Eeyore City and that has a cloud over it? How does that happen? What's causing this cloud? Is it something in the water in Timmins? The vapors, they rise up to the sky and they just have this cloud over them? So is it just Timmins? So coming back to Sudbury, this was an interesting view. This is coming into Chelmsford, right? So I had blue skies for most of the way from Timmins to Sudbury. And as I'm coming into Sudbury, how is that? Look at how it's just a big straight line of a cloud-looking thing that's over the city. How is this possible? This is coming in from, this is, by the RV place as you come in from Timmins on 144. Just looking towards Chelmsford. You're just coming into Chelmsford here. You can see Chelmsford in the, in the distance, right? But isn't that interesting? Just a huge cloud only over Sudbury. Now, those on the radio, you'll have to take my word for it or come back and watch the show on demand on YouTube or Facebook to see these pictures. And ask yourself, how does that happen naturally? And this is on a daily basis, folks. We know this. Those that are aware of their surroundings. So I'm just talking to people on the show here who see this on a daily basis, and I'm just pointing it out. So you go back to the other pictures in Timmins. There's the morning I woke up, and you got the cloud that's just over the city. And as you look out, there's no clouds from the city. And then you see the picture of me driving into the city. Okay, and I'm not sure why my computer is acting the way it is. And the clouds are just over the city. So if I was in the city looking out, it would look more like that. Right? Because the cloud is over the city. Why is there a cloud over the city? What's in the cloud? Who put the cloud there? Right? And I'm even calling it a cloud. It's not a cloud. It's fake. So it's manufactured. And that's the night that I got to Timmins showing the same thing, right? There's just this dark cloud that's just over the city. And that can't be natural. And it happens all the time. Where I live, I could wake up in the morning and this would be what I would see outside my window in the morning, kind of thing. And I see it every day. And my wife's like, please stop talking about it. You keep talking about it as if you're surprised it's happening. But I'm just frustrated that it keeps happening. And when I look at the water here, I just flush the toilet and then I look at right after the water settles and you start seeing fiber like things that are settling on the top. So whatever's in the air is just landing on the top of the water. I just did it while the Wake Up Canada video was playing. And yeah, it didn't take long, like seconds, and you just start seeing these fine hair-like fibers and dots and things on the top of the water. That's just coming right out of the air. Why is our air so full of these things? And people who have tested the air after they spray us has found all of the things, as Brad Wilder has said. How is this legal? How is this possible? How do people, first of all, we're not aware of it, and it sounds like you're a conspiracy theorist if you talk about it, but I didn't Photoshop those pictures. I'm not making this stuff up. How is that a conspiracy theory? It's just right there in plain sight over your head every day. What? And you're breathing it in, and like if I was to go to you with an aerosol can and spray it in your face, you would take exception to that. I'm pretty sure you would. And if I told you all the chemicals and everything that was in that aerosol and it could cause respiratory damage and make you sick and all kinds, give you illnesses, rare illnesses and stuff, you'd then be even more mad. But they can just spray it in super doses over your head every day and you don't question anything. And we all breathe it in. Right? It's because you think people couldn't be capable of doing that to other people. That's what you think. And that's because we don't understand history. You don't see what people are capable of doing to other people. They're capable of doing very not so good things to other people. And if you look at who's doing this stuff and what their agendas are, and they actually want the population of the world to be decreased to a very manageable amount, which means 8 billion or so people have to go. Well, this would be a really good way to do that, right? And the people that have the resources to do this, and that's what their goal is. So why did my wife have to take my grandson to the ER last night and spend the whole night with him as he's coughing up blood? He has a respiratory thing, a very, strange, super cold that won't go away in 4 months. Like, where does this come from? Yeah. So that's all the time we got for the show today. Again, ending on a positive note. I guess I got to really find a way to end these shows with more positive news. But anyways, that is the way things are going. And good morning, Amanda. Thanks for being on. Thanks for checking in. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back same time, same place on the same platforms, God willing, on Tuesday, tomorrow. Stay aware, like, share, take care, and stay tuned now for Earshot Daily on CKLU 96.7 FM. Ciao for now, guys.
This is Sudbury News Talk on the morning shift.